Hello and welcome to another episode of Bodied, a Cloud9 Fancast. I'm your host Havokpus and I'm joined by my co-host Frozencreek.
Hello, hello. Football season is among us. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm excited because Mac Jones is the starter for the Patriots now.
Yeah, I saw that.
My boy,
Yeah,
national
yeah.
championship
Well,
winner Mac Jones.
my boy is
Golly.
is his backup. Brian Hoyer is a Michigan State grad,
Ooh.
so Brian Hoyer is going to teach Mac Jones how to be a good quarterback because Brian Hoyer is from QBU.
Well, it's going to be an
Backup
exciting season.
quarterbacks. QBU of backup quarterbacks, but that's not as true now that Connor Cook is out of the league. But that's beside the point. College football. My team starts Friday. Michigan State is playing Northwestern, and Alabama probably plays this weekend too. So I'm
Yeah,
pretty.
they play Miami.
Yeah. Oh, we play Miami in week 3. So
Ooh.
it is
Miami is
on
one
the
of those
road.
teams where, like, I know that Alabama has like a rivalry with them because we lost to them once, and I don't think anyone ever really forgave them for it.
Or was that like recently or back?
No, that
When
was in the like
they
the
were good.
'90s or something.
Okay, or they were really good for like a decade. They had Willis McGahee for sure, because I think they beat Ohio State for a national championship in like '02 or something.
Yeah,
Something like that. But yeah, they're better than us, which really is saying much since our head coach came during COVID with like 2 months of
Mhm.
preparation yeah, before practice started. So, but he worked with Sabe and at Michigan State for a bit. So hoping for a revival.
Hopefully.
But speaking of revivals, I I don't think that relates to us, but I guess it is the revival of our Halo team, kind of.
Yeah, they got accepted, or they're one of the teams going into this fancy schmancy Halo Infinite Halo Esports League. Uh, they are a part of like 9 teams. It's us, Envy, E United, FaZe Clan, Fnatic, G2 Esports, Navi, Sentinels, and Space Station Gaming. So we'll get to see them play Halo Infinite Esports whenever Halo Infinite comes out.
Yeah. My first few reactions on it are 9 teams is weird. I don't know how they're gonna.
Yeah, that's not an even number.
I'm not
That
sure if
bothers
they're
me.
planning on adding like 3 more teams at some point or what. But 9 teams is a weird amount of teams to have in a league. So that was the first thing I thought. The second is that it seems that there's a few European based organizations. So is this going to be a North American thing or an EU thing, or are we going to be playing each other across the pond? Do you have any clue?
I have no idea.
Okay,
Um,
well
so
that's something to look forward to as they talk about that more.
yeah, we'll have to see how it all
Because
shakes out. It is interesting though. A pretty good lineup of organizations. So
yeah,
I'm really wanting to see our Halo team play again. They're pretty good. Um, all things considered. So I want to see them kind of crank back up and
uh huh.
start doing things.
Or so Halo Infinite is not out yet.
I don't think so. I think it's still being worked on.
Okay, yeah, I was never a Halo guy, so I don't know that yeah that much about
Yeah,
it.
Halo Infinite comes out in December.
Oh, okay, so they've jumped the gun a little bit, but that's okay.
Might as well get the news out now.
Yeah,
Get people amped.
build up some hype for a new Halo, I guess.
Exactly.
Speaking of joining leagues, there is a rumor that we are joining a Call of Duty league too.
Yeah. So C9's been cryptically tweeting some stuff associated with the Call of Duty League. I believe the rumor is that a couple of the teams are like selling their spots. I think maybe like Florida is one of them, and maybe Optic. I'm not like super sure, but the rumor is that Cloud9 is going to be buying into the league, and they're going to get a spot. You know, they've tweeted a few tweets associated with that, with like adding, you know, like players are tweeting stuff and they're like adding them back, and there was one where they had like there was some sort of like uh Call of Duty thing, and Cloud9 did the eyes, you know, they did the eye
Oh, I did
tweet.
see that tweet. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that, you know, that I think it definitely at least points in the direction that they are going to be joining the league at some point. I'm not sure when. I'm not sure if like the season's still ongoing, or if, since it's off season, you know, I don't know how Call of Duty operates. But I am interested in seeing, you know, what exactly happens, and you know, how it all shakes out, because I would like to kind of get back in the Call of Duty League, just because it is Call of Duty is a pretty big game, and it does have a pretty, you know, big scene behind it.
Yeah. We did have a Call of Duty team, right?
We did
Before?
for a little bit, yeah,
Okay.
and then they disbanded,
Of course, but that's
like most
beside
of
the
our
point.
other teams.
Yeah. But yeah,
Everyone
I
that
guess
I love
it's good
leaves
news.
us, Frozen.
Or is this some kind of franchise league?
Yeah, it's like a franchise deal, so they'd have to buy in. They might, yeah, I think they might be actually buying the Florida Mutineers as a spot, because they specifically asked. They tweeted at Cloud9, "Hello, we need to chat." And Jack even tweeted phone, money, and then a champagne bottle. So I mean, I mean, it looks like it's happening. I guess it's just a matter of when it's official.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Oh, we probably should have said this first, but I got distracted by college football. House cleaning. We are not going to be here next week, and probably another date in September, because I will be in Portland, Oregon. So if anyone is in Portland, hit me up, because I am going alone, so I will be bored.
Oh, fine.
But yes, yeah, I know. I'm going to a conference, so
Oh, exciting.
yeah, so it should be fun. I've never been there, but yeah, consider that week a wash too. But we'll keep you updated on that when we come back in 2 weeks. But back to Cloud9 news.
Back to Cloud9 news. I believe, yeah, World of Warcraft played, and they beat Hamsters and Hares 3-0. Yay! I didn't watch it.
Yeah, me neither.
I assumed that they just did Warlock, Druid, Mage. But 3-0 is good.
Yeah, they probably did.
3-0 is pretty good. I think they've only maybe lost like 1 or 2 matches so far in this circuit season, which is kind of par for the course for our WoW team, which is good. So keep doing what you're doing, gang.
I hope that this means that they're prepping their Mage Druid Warlock for BlizzCon again, because BlizzCon is always super excited.
Yeah.
Exciting.
I hope they're ready. I guess another small piece of news, it looks like the Valorant team is getting an academy team. The Valorant GM Hunmaru tweeted out, looking for coaches for our Valorant academy team. If you're interested, please contact me. So looks like we're getting an academy team. I have no clue as to who will be on it and what's going to go on. Poise may actually drop down to the academy team, considering that with our current configuration, I don't think he would ever probably see the light of day in terms of playtime. And I would like him to play for us in some capacity, because he is a good player, if not a bit rough around the edges.
Yeah, and it seems like a good place for him to fall, I guess. Give him a chance to jump back up to the main team after an inevitable roster switch, and gives him a chance to lead some younger players as they switch from solo Q stars to hopefully polished professionals.
Yeah. But once we have more
academy.
Yeah, speaking of academy, once we have more info on that, we'll definitely talk about it. But speaking of academy, they're going to Proven Grounds.
Yep, which starts this week, both academy and amateur. Amateur and 100 Thieves next are the only two LCS-backed amateur teams in this tournament this time around. I think last time there were 3 or 4. We start that this week. Amateur plays against.
They play against AOE Esports.
AOE Esports, which has RBM. He used to be the mid laner for, like, I don't know, some LCS squad. Or no, that was GBM.
Yeah, that's GBM.
Okay, I don't know who RBM is then. Okay, so wow. So they don't really have anyone, I guess.
I like how you confused it with a completely.
Okay, one led difference. So they play Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I believe. It'll be streamed somewhere, I don't know where. Hopefully. And then C9 Academy take on Resolve Esports Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a bit of a gauntlet this year. There's 16 teams. There's a losers bracket.
There's 16 teams in a losers bracket?
And a losers bracket.
That's a lot of teams.
Yes. And then round 4 in the losers bracket is best of 5. And everything beyond that is best of 5. So everything now is a best of 3. In the amateur bracket, it is a tough bracket. So after AOE, if they win, they'll likely play Team Liquid Academy, who won Academy this split. So that's a tough ask. But they also have, if they managed to get past Team Liquid Academy, they'd be playing one of Immortal, Dig, and FlyQuest Academy and Zeus Gaming. So not ideal for them. Cloud9 Academy has, I guess, a slightly easier run. In if they win, they'll play Wildcard Gaming, which is Brandini, Winston, and Arrow's team, or 100 Thieves next, which is the amateur team. So not too easy. And then if they get past that, they'll play one of the other academy teams. All of them are good, but they came in second place last time around. So I'm hoping to see them make a deep run again this time, especially with the losers bracket.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be just a battle royale to see who can come on top. Hopefully the academy team will show up. I'd imagine a lot of it's going to be trying to pull through, like, Copy, King, and Darshan to try to have good individual performances. Hopefully they've at least gotten, like, a bunch of practice as this event's leading up. So hopefully the team's going to be practicing and pumped up for competing. So we'll have to see how both the teams do. We haven't seen the amateur team play in a while as well.
Yeah, it's been probably a month or two.
Yeah, so hopefully all of the teams are at least, like, prepared and not kind of like out of practice because they haven't really played or anything in a while.
Yeah, and since there's a losers bracket, they'll get another chance to prove themselves if they fall to either AOE or Team Liquid Academy. So not ideal, but they can still get a few wins behind them, I hope.
Yeah.
On the academy and amateur note, before we switch to LCS, do you have anything else to add about Proven Grounds? Okay.
No.
Tim Sevenhusen from Oracle's Elixir published his top 10 list of NA prospects. and there are no Cloud9 players on it this time. Which
not even Copy.
Not even Copy.
But Copy's champion pool is huge.
He's like
he can play like anything.
He's like he was mentioned in the video, but he wasn't on the top 10 list.
Ooh.
So
this list isn't valid.
Yeah, mids ahead of him are Joe Pion from EG Academy, which I think is fair. He's really young. Pretty Immortals Academy mid laner, and then Fireflyer, who is a free agent right now. So I think that's a bit harsh on Copy, who has played every champion available to mid lane the split, I think, and has performed on pretty much all of them. So, and he's only 18. So I think that Tim left him off, and he shouldn't have, because Tomo is on here, who's already played some LCS games. Tenacity.
Yeah, I don't think you can put Tomo on there when he's already gonna play.
Yeah, NXI, who's played on stage.
Yeah, some of these
who's played on stage.
Unfair.
Prismal, who's played on stage in LCS. So while I guess it's fair to include them in a way, I still think Copy was left off. It was always going to be tough to pick a Cloud9 guy from Academy, just because it is 3 veterans plus Copy and Isles. But he still thinks Copy's good, but I think Copy is going to be better than at least five fire.
Yeah.
So not fair to him. But while we are talking about not fair, let's talk about LCS.
Yeah, so
fair, but it's not fair.
The team ran through the gauntlet and they qualified for Worlds, as is C9 tradition. Whenever there's sort of a gauntlet having to be done, we got to face 100 Thieves in the losers finals, and we were not there that day. Frozen.
No, I didn't get to watch it live, for better or for worse, but I did watch the games afterwards, and it was as disappointing as expected.
It was disappointing and incredibly frustrating. In games 1 and 2, I believe we pretty much had the game cinched up, and we just threw
an Ocean Soul in one of them too.
Yeah, and we just threw like tremendously, and I think that is it's kind of unacceptable. and like the indie game decision making was just didn't seem there. It didn't seem like the team was 100% together. Perks' decision making, I guess, to single him out. I don't know what he was doing at the time. Like some of those twisted fate flanks, some of those twisted fate flanks, they were not ideal, but he did them anyway.
Yeah. He got caught out quite a bit in game 2, which cost them a game that they easily should have won, into a Renekton and Lee Sin comp. So that was extremely disappointing.
Yeah. And it was I think it was also just frustrating draft wise, like we were doing all right on Varus. I think that's like the draft was kind of weird. I think in games 1 and 2, like we had drafts that like fit our strengths, like Poacher's on Viego, Blubber's on Trundle. Perks on Twisted Fate's kind of weird. That doesn't really fit him, but
I think it's fine.
Everyone else was on a champion that Vulcan doesn't play a lot of Bard. I think that was kind of a weird point, but he was doing really well with it. Like he was playing Bard really well. So it wasn't like that was a bad pick, but we just kind of threw there. So I think drafts 1 and 2 were good. Everyone was on strength points. Draft 3, the game we won, Perks played Oriana, Sven on Tristana. That was kind of a messy game.
Yeah, it was.
I actually didn't watch game 4, but from what I heard, we chose Ashe, and it was pretty much useless the whole game.
I don't get how much hate there is against Ashe. Like, it's been a relatively popular pick.
I mean, I really like Ashe. Like, I feel like just the amount of utility she has in her kit is very useful. She has slows, she can poke, she's able to grant your team vision through her hawk shot, and I mean the arrow, the crystalline arrow, you get a really good stun to initiate fights and everything. Like that, I think those are traits that like wouldn't every team want to have. I guess from like a carry, though I guess like how the meta is right now, everyone carries are more explosive, so you want things like a Varus or an Aphelios or something that, or like a Tristana, I guess, something that just scales really, really hard. And I mean, Ashe does scale well, but I guess like other AD carries just, you're sacrificing more scaling damage potential for a greater, utility. But I mean, I really like Ashe, and her kit's always just seems really useful to me.
Yeah, I don't get a hate behind it. Like maybe they could have pulled out Jin, but like Jin is kind of a niche pick right now. Aphelios got
Jin may
banned,
have been better. I mean,
so
Sven made it work.
Tristana.
Sven made it work last, when we
Yeah,
played against TSM.
but that I think that was because the AADC pool got pushed
Yeah,
deeper.
that is true.
So like they could have gone Tristana, but I don't know. I don't hate the Ashe pick. Ashe is getting picked around the world anyway. Def played Ashe today in their 3-0 route to get to Worlds. So
Yeah,
I don't hate it.
I don't think that was maybe the thing that lost us the match. I think really it was just that we weren't together as a team, and it felt like what we've been doing for most of the summer split, where part of our team wants to play one way and another part of the team wants to play another, and we're trying to like meet in the middle or something, and we're trying to do things that aren't necessarily uh the smartest, and then we just lose. Um, it was a really frustrating series for sure. But I will say, at least on sort of a silver lining note, we played way better than Team Liquid did in the finals.
I didn't
Um,
watch their game.
I watched the Liquid game. Team Liquid barely put up a fight. They got kind of
Good. Fuck them.
they got steamrolled kind of by 100 Thieves.
Good. Fuck them.
And I think that if anything, it at least shows that we are, even though we're like the third place team, we are maybe the stronger team because we were able to make the games much tighter and much more competitive than Team Liquid did.
Yeah, but let's not also forget that Team Liquid did already beat us, and didn't they already beat 100 Thieves too?
I believe so.
So
I can't remember exactly who sent who to the lower bracket.
I believe it was Team Liquid in a 5-game series.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't think that we can have any qualms about finishing third. I think it sucks because I really do think that this team should have done better. But I guess it just gives us more time in play-ins to get our groove back in together. Because looking at this team or roster of teams who have qualified, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, I think that at least this will give us a lot of fuel to play better. We can go and we can boot camp in Europe. We have the plans. We will have a lot of ramp up time, and I think that honestly, I think the plans are really beneficial because it allows teams to actually kind of warm up and get warm, rather than a lot of times what happens with teams, especially from like NA, where if they qualify and they don't have to do the plans, they start off cold and they struggle a lot to really go and compete well against the other teams in the group stage. So I think that we will have a lot of opportunities to really figure out what we need to do. My only worry is that our team is kind of volatile. Like, it's not that we're a bad team. I think it's just with how our rosters and how we play and everything, we're just really volatile. And then if we don't, we can just have it not going on for us because of how we play and everything at any point. So it makes things very kind of precarious, and especially going into teams that you've never played before. We played 100 Thieves, I don't know how many times this year. We made a pretty close series of it. How are we going to fare against whoever we're going to have to compete against in the play-ins,
Yeah, and it is going to be a loaded play-ins. There's going to be one LPL team, one LCK team, one LEC team, which is Rogue. And the LCK team is either going to be a TU1 or Hanwha Life, so that's not an easy
yeah.
two
Yeah, it's not
teams
going to
to
be
play.
easy.
That
Plus, you're
includes
going to have to
Chovy.
face against probably
Chovy and Faker.
other teams. I imagine there's going to be a team from like Turkey and CIS and the Latin Americas and whatnot.
Yeah, so
in Brazil, in Japan.
I don't think they've announced the format of play-ins yet, but I did just see that Vietnam wasn't going to Worlds.
No, yeah, that
happened
happened last year, I believe.
Which I guess is good for us in a way, but it's going to be tough. So I'm assuming, let me see, 3, 6, 8, 10, 12. So 12 teams. There's going to be 4 coming out of play-ins. So that is 1 from each of the major regions, or 3 from the major regions and 1 in someone else. Gillette Infinity is going to be back. We can beat them. I'm not sure who is PSG Turkey.
No, that's Taiwan.
Okay, so they have their second representative too. I'm not sure who that is for play-ins, but it's going to be a good warm-up for us. We will likely face either Faker or Chovy, possibly at some point in time. Who is Rogue's mid laner? Do you know? I'm blanking on.
I have no
right
idea.
Now. Okay, well, and then it leaves us in a tough spot for Worlds groups proper, because we will likely get one of FPX, Damwon, or Mad Lions. I guess the ideal would probably be FPX or Damwon. Get them done in groups, because if you can make it out of groups with one of those, then you wouldn't have to face them until finals. FPX is going to be far too strong for us, but they would beat every other team in the group, hopefully. So we would control our own destiny. But I think that's a bit of a stretch to start talking about that yet, until we know how planes are going to go. But I have to imagine that's going to start last week in September, early October.
Yeah, I would imagine that's where it usually, and that's where it usually lines up. So it's gonna be, like I said, it's gonna be a tough road. I think the team just has to kind of buckle down and really practice and try to get as many reps and practice time as they can. Hopefully also just, the season's done. So at least they can finally now take a break, right? They don't have to worry about like, oh, we have this match next week now against whoever, and they have to deal with all of the stress of, having to, potentially get knocked out and not go to Worlds or go to the championship or anything. So they don't have to worry about that anymore, which is good. I think that's I think that's really beneficial.
Yeah, especially with the LPL and the LCK still trying to decide who's going to Worlds. There's probably going to be a 2-week break where they get to chill.
Yeah, even
or something.
Yeah, even before even before, they have to probably like, travel. So I think rest is good. I think getting into the mindset of what they have to do for Worlds is good. And I think on the bright side, even though we did come out 3rd place for the season, we are still going to Worlds. I think that's something that, especially with how difficult this season is, I think we can really be proud of, that the team buckled down when it mattered. they at least got the big check mark, right? That every NA team kind of is striving for every year, and I think that, summer championship's nice, but I think if you don't go to Worlds, I think it's a way more, it's a bigger disappointment than not winning the trophy,
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's some discussion that we can save for once Worlds is done, because once October is finished, we will have all the time in the world before play-ins, or before the what?
Yeah, the spring season.
Or what's that first turn? The lock-in.
Yeah, lock-in. Are they doing that again next year?
I would imagine, because I think that was probably the most hype LCS.
I really did like the lock-in
all year. Yeah,
I think the lock-in was such a fun thing. Like, it was low stakes, but it was still like, hey, look at all these teams. They have different rosters now. You get to kind of see what the teams are working with. You get to see kind of what they want to play, how they're going to play, how did some rosters improve from like last year, other stuff like that. It was really just a fun event. You kind of get some bragging rights going into the spring season. It was really just a fun event, and I really, really did like it. So I would not mind us doing that again.
Yeah, it was fun. But falling back a little bit, speaking of 2-week breaks, if you don't have anything else to add, then we will be back in 2 weeks.
I don't have anything else. Yeah.
Okay. Then hopefully we'll know more about play-ins by then, and we can talk through that. But I guess we will just see you guys in 2 weeks.
Yep. Thanks for watching.
Yep. And listening.
And listening, I guess. Look, you can watch. You can watch sound.
You can watch us, but I imagine it's pretty boring. But yes,
regardless,
wrapping it up before our recording bot poops on us. We will see you guys in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.